Today on the Gcore AI News Show, the latest with Elon's Grok and his bold attempt to enter the open source race. DeepSeek have upgraded their model. Is it another extraordinary moment that will change the AI landscape forever? Or has their moment in the sun now passed? Plus, we'll be doing a deep dive on 3D environment generators that turn flat images into walkable virtual worlds. I'm your host, tech journalist and AI consultant Harry Verity. Let's get started. Now, if there's one man who is synonymous with shaking things up, it's Elon Musk. And taking a break from his usual political shenanigans, he's back with another crazy AI announcement. So xAI dropped a bombshell by releasing what they're calling Grok 2.5. That's the final version of Grok 2 as an open weight model. That's right, the weights are now available for download on HuggingFace under the xAI community license. This means researchers and hobbyists can tinker with it for free in non-commercial settings. But if you're eyeing up commercial use, you'll need to follow some guidelines. If you want to spin it up yourself, then Gcore would be the perfect partner. The model is huge, approximately 269 to 286 billion total parameters, and around 115 billion active parameters per token, activating 2 out of 8 experts, though the parameters haven't been officially confirmed. Importantly, the license draws a line. You can't use Grok 2 to train or develop other AI models, and any redistribution requires crediting the source. So if you've got a couple of $1 million lying around and we're thinking about distilling Grok to train your own model, think again. Elon himself took to X to hype this up, noting what they're calling Grok 2.5, xAI's flagship model for 2024, is now fully open source. But he didn't stop there. Musk teased that Grok 3, the next iteration, will follow suit and go open source in about 6 months. That's a timeline that's got everyone buzzing, especially since xAI is positioning these as cutting-edge models built on massive compute clusters. Now, why is this such a big deal, and how does it stack up against what OpenAI are doing? Let's break it down. Last week we talked about OpenAI's first venture into open source since 2019 with their new models GPT-OSS, which by comparison is 120 billion parameters. That's essentially a from-scratch creation designed specifically for open release. It's efficient, especially on math tasks, and using fewer tokens per query compared to some of the open competitors. But notice, OpenAI isn't open sourcing their crown jewels like GPT-4, O3, or the newer GPT-5. They're keeping those proprietary, monetizing them through APIs and subscriptions, while tossing out a separate purpose-built open model to the community. xAI's strategy flips this script. They're open weighting their mainline models, the ones powering their actual products. Grok 2 isn't just some side project, it's the real deal, trained on xAI's infrastructure and meant to compete head-on-head with the big players. This approach democratizes access to high-performance AI without creating a light version for the masses. It's bolder, potentially accelerating innovation by letting developers fine-tune and build directly on xAI's tech stack. Musk also isn't just talking about today, he's dropping hints about the future. While specifics on Grok 5 are sparse, Elon has been vocal about xAI's roadmap, suggesting that by the time Grok 5 rolls out, likely in late 2025 or early 2026, it could surpass current leaders in reasoning, creativity, and even multimodal capabilities. He's tested that with xAI's Memphis supercluster, one of the world's largest. Grok 5 might achieve super intelligence levels, handling complex simulations and real-world problems. Solving that makes today's models look quaint. Imagine an AI that not only chats, but designs rockets or optimizes energy grids on the fly. This all ties into the broader open source debate in AI. On one side, proponents argue that open models like Grok 2 foster collaboration, reduce monopolies, and speed up safety research. We've seen this with models from Meta's Llama series or Stability AI, where community contributions have led to rapid improvements. But critics point out the risks. Misuse for deepfakes, bias outputs, or even training malicious AIs. xAI's license tries to mitigate this by banning model training use cases, but enforcement is tricky. Compare that to the efficiency angle. Recent analysis shows open models like DeepSeek or Cohere often guzzle 1.5 to 4 times more tokens than proprietary ones like Grok or GPT-4 for the same tasks. This means higher costs and slower inference, potentially limiting adoption. Musk's move could bridge this gap. If Grok's architecture proves more efficient, it might inspire a wave of optimized open models. So what does this mean for AI's future? It could level the playing field, empowering startups and researchers without billion-dollar budgets, but it also intensifies the arms race. Expect OpenAI, Google, and others to respond, perhaps with more hybrid approaches. For users, it means better, cheaper tools sooner, and for businesses, better compliance. We might soon see open source AIs rivaling closed ones in everyday apps. That wraps up our deep dive on Grok's open source push. Up next, we're sticking with open source. Shifting gears to DeepSeek, who've just released version 3.1, their first hybrid model that's already turning heads in the benchmarks. If you're not familiar, DeepSeek has been a dark horse in the open weight space, releasing models that punch above their weight in reasoning tasks. Version 3.1 builds on their previous R1 reasoning models, but with some smart upgrades that blend architectures for better performance. So what's new? Version 3.1 is a hybrid, combining elements of mixture of experts with traditional dense models. Hot on the trails of GPT-5, which introduced an open router in ChatGPT, DeepSeek has a think mode, DeepSeek Reasoner, which is tuned for multi-step reasoning and tool use, and a non-think mode, DeepSeek Chat, that is designed for simpler tasks. This means it dynamically activates only the most relevant experts for a given query, boosting efficiency without sacrificing power. Benchmarks show it surpassing R1 across the board. Think higher scores on maths like GS M8K, coding, the human eval, and general reasoning, MMLU. In one eval, it even held its own against OpenAI's O1 in complex tasks, scoring similarly despite being fully open weight. Upgrades include better token efficiency, addressing a common gripe with open models. Earlier versions like DeepSeek V3 could burn through 1.5 to 10 times more tokens than proprietary rivals for simple knowledge queries, driving up costs. Version 3.1 trims that down, making it more viable for real-world apps. It's also multimodal ready, handling images and text seamlessly, and it supports longer contexts, up to 128k tokens, perfect for document analysis or code basis. It's certainly not flawless, it still lags proprietary giants like GPT-5 on nuanced multi-step reasoning, and it doesn't give users the ability to change the level of reasoning, but for an open model, it's a beast. So what does this mean for AI? Well, first of all, it accelerates the open source catch-up. With version 3.1 available on HuggingFace, developers can fine-tune it for niche uses from education tools to enterprise chatbots without API fees. It challenges the narrative that closed models are inherently superior, potentially pressuring companies like OpenAI to innovate faster. On the flip side, higher token use in open models highlights ongoing efficiency debates. Cheaper hardware might democratize AI, but wasteful inference could offset gains. DeepSeek version 3.1 signals a maturing open ecosystem. If trends continue, we could see hybrid opens dominating cost-sensitive sectors like startups or academia. So be sure to keep an eye on this one. It's a game changer for accessible high-performance AI. Now for our final story, we're getting hands-on with some mind-blowing tech. As promised, AI models that turn a single photo into a fully navigatable 3D environment. Imagine uploading a simple picture, let's say of a room or a landscape, and seconds later you're virtually strolling through it like a video game. That's the promise of the latest 3D environment models, and 2025 has seen an explosion in this tech. Leading the pack are tools like Google DeepMind's Genie 3, which generates interactive 3D worlds from text prompts at 24 frames per second in 720p, keeping scenes consistent for minutes. Now, we've only seen some previews of this. Then there's Dynamic Labs Mirage 2, which turns sketches or photos into playable game worlds you can edit in real time with commands. But the real standout from image to 3D is World Labs System, which creates walkable 3D environments from a single photo, complete with depth, textures, and navigation. These models use advanced techniques like neural radiance fields, NeRFs, and Gaussian splatting to extrapolate 3D data from 2D inputs. Genie 3 excels at long-form worlds from text, Mirage 2 at quick prototypes, and World Labs at photorealism from real images. What does this mean? For gaming devs, it's rapid prototyping, builds levels in minutes, and if this sees widespread adoption, maybe we'll get GTA 7 in record time. Architects can visualize designs, educators create immersive history tours, but limitations exist. Mirage 2 struggles with precise controls, and Genie 3 isn't publicly available yet. And when it does release, it will no doubt require hefty compute. Still, it is democratizing 3D creation, slashing costs from hours of manual modeling. So, let's try it out. So from our demo of Mirage 2, what we did is we grabbed a screenshot of Gcore's offices from Google Street View. So in under a minute, it spat out a navigatable 3D model. So there's an option to fight, just in case anyone tries to take my parking spot next time I'm visiting the Gcore offices. And it even lets you jump over any of the barriers. So we can literally prompt it to do anything. Change the weather, change the lighting, change the environment. But some of the visual stability dips on complex move. This tech is evolving fast. Expect integrations with VR headsets soon. For creators, it's obviously a revolution. For the rest of us, it means personalized virtual tours of absolutely anything. Before we wrap up, let's hit some honorable mentions that we didn't have time for. Google VO3 offered a free trial. So Google's hyper-realistic AI video generator with sound offered 3 free gens this week in the Gemini app. Nvidia's H20 chips limbo, 700,000 AI chips meant for China are gathering dust after Beijing's security ban, and that spotlights obviously the geopolitical tensions in AI. OpenAI's O3 edges GPT-5. On multi-app office tasks, O3 scores higher, raising questions about benchmarking reliability. Finally, Cohere has released Command AI Reasoning. This is a new language model designed for demanding reasoning tasks in business setting. It's great for agent frameworks. So that's all we've got time for on this episode of Gcore AI News. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe and hit that bell, and drop me a comment as well. I'm really keen to hear your take on open sourcing Grok. Alright, I'll see you next week.